Hi, I'm spending another Saturday evening in this overall pleasant hotel basement. So it does get a little eerie down here when I'm alone. I just played my first over the board chess of 2025. Last night I competed in St. Louis Chess Club's Friday night quads, which was 3 rounds, time control, 15 minutes with a 3-second increment. Pretty much all day today, I competed in the St. Louis Chess Club's Saturday rated games. Time control 45 minutes with a 3-second delay. I won 2 of 3 in each event, and I'm going to show a few key moments from 3 of those 6 games. I almost always do 2 reviews of every over the board I play. The first, I focus only on my own mistakes, and I never look more than +2. So my mistake, and maybe 2 or fewer moves deeper. Then, a few days or even weeks later, I will come back to those games for my second review. Sometimes that takes me an hour. I'm replaying mistakes against chess.com's robot. I'm noting if the opponent played an opening I wasn't familiar with, and I might play that opening against a robot so I can learn it and see if I like it. And most importantly, I am going through move by move to reflect on past games. Maybe that position is similar to something I've already studied, or even going back to my time in tech, if I can think of a concept that is similar to what I'm trying to ingrain into my brain with chess. That's the goal, is to create connections in my brain so I'm not just learning from my mistakes and learning new things, but making it to where it's my own and I can apply it should something like that happen again in the future. Because chess is just patterns. And one of the mistakes amateurs likely make is learning, maybe even taking lessons. But if we cannot pull that out, possibly in a time crunch, under pressure, then knowledge is completely useless. And that's my second review. But I'm just going to show my first review this time. Because this time control is very fast, it's tough to take notes, take proper notations that are legible. So I'm really just trying to get enough with my notations to spark my memory. And my goal is to have a portion of the game to analyze. I want to take away something from every game, but with that short of time control, once it comes to the end game, I usually put my pen down. And in this case, I just kind of captured the open. I overestimated my advantage here. Of course, it would be nice to take that pawn, but because I have pressure on my knight, the rook would simply slide out of the way. It would be threatening my bishop for beginners. And now I do not have time to save my knight, and I just lose pretty badly. Mistake by me. I'm seeing this pin, trying to get the rook. And the appropriate course of action is simply to take the bishop. So if rook takes on d5, then I do get that pawn, and that was a mistake. But always giving myself a chance in shorter time controls. And what ended up happening was my advantage became the bishops and a somewhat exposed king instead of the material advantage I expected to get with the pin due to miscalculation. Now for the slightly longer time control that I played today. No, that's the first game from, I don't want to show that. I have 2 of my 3 games today. In this, I was fairly fortunate to win. I believe this is all pretty, I would say even Masters would accept how it was played up until maybe here. I got help from the St. Louis Chess Club's Master in Residence. I think that's what her role is at the moment. Very good player. Better than anyone in the tournament by far. Teaches me stuff. And so some of my words are paraphrasing her advice. No need to take that. I can, but it's not necessary. A good move by the opponent getting the bishop to e2 because that eliminates ideas like this. And f4 throughout a lot of this middle game is reasonable. Now, apparently that is a mistake. I would have been pretty quick to do that as wide as well. Now what I have here that I didn't consider was, obviously the queen cannot capture due to the bishop. So if you want that, and you do, you take with your g-pawn. I then take. And now instead of a pretty even game, suddenly the opponent's king could be in trouble, and I am in complete control. I didn't see that. I was already focusing on what happened, which it would have been preventable, but at my level, similar mistakes tend to get made. I was seeing from here, maybe even a little before, I don't want to trade queens. I can protect. I am threatening. And as I'm threatening, let's say you did something like your rook slides. It wouldn't matter because I can check my way out of it. So the rook trying to break up my queen, which is protecting my knight, is not a problem because I would simply check. Force to the corner unless you want to give away your queen, which of course no trained athlete would. And then I will take check again, and you have the choice of how to recapture. And I just win your b pawn. So that's what I was looking at. Because you cannot allow me to do that. The opponent saw what I just mentioned. I basically became, in a way, the athlete with the white pieces or a little bit of extra time. I feel like white's a move late now because due to my rook coming, your queen has to move, else the pin remains, which is bad for you. And that buys me a move, prevents you from using a move to be aggressive, improve your position anyway. Not a great move, apparently, but my thought is I'm threatening here, and I have this check, which basically allows me to eliminate the bishop whenever I choose. And a reasonable move, maybe even before, to keep me from controlling the very nice d-file. Very important, I should say. A little premature. Very premature. Apparently that move is excellent. I didn't like that move as white. Because I felt like you were going to need to worry about keeping those pawns more so than having a rook that's pretty lonely, not doing a lot. on the 6th. Okay, and now that is apparently a blunder, and I thought that was a decent move. Because what I saw was this. Okay, so queen d3. I was thinking there, but either way. g6. The queen comes to d7. Rook. I have to give you my rook. Because if here, then here, yeah, I can't afford to worsen my pawns, apparently. So that's awful. But it wasn't seen by the opponent. And the opponent was in a little bit of time trouble for most of this. Well, really most of the middle game, which impacted my decisions, of course. And it ended up being fine. But I kind of overestimated the help my rook could give to keep this pawn intact. Not a good practice to let a pawn get that advanced. Still, though it looks unpleasant, it's not a huge problem. And now, again, with a lot of time in my favor, I'm going to lose battery. I force the queens off the board. Ended up winning a game that, by the way, I played. Maybe I didn't deserve to win. Let's look at one more. This opponent is performing at like a 1700 level, but there's not enough sample size, so the rating is still showing 1473. And that's a move I like to make, but I had no plan. I just know that could come, and I don't want to be boxed in. But it's not really that good of a bishop. I did look at that. Because if takes, of course I take, and then your queen has to go to e1. But I didn't feel like that really mattered. So I can get here. And then you want to go to knight b1. Okay. And possibly due to a lot of online chess, I'm a little too interested in trying to get my knight here. Pose threats, get cheap attacking opportunities. I gotta not do that. This was a sad game because I took the mindset I often take with online chess to an over the board game. I completely wasted the game. Wasted a slight advantage, I think. And ended up getting my knight pinned. But for this game, in any game that I don't play well or blow a lead in, there's still a lot that can be learned from the open. But overall, it's more crucial to focus and rest than it is to even study. Because if I show up like I did for this game, which I spent like 20 minutes with the St. Louis Chess Club's, one of St. Louis Chess Club's teachers, I think she's a master. So I was way late to this game and I was rushing, but still, I'm going to take the time to come. I have to be completely locked in. And I wasn't for this game. I am going to play in their weekly event and at least 2 weekend tournaments this month. Hopefully I can get my rating above 1500 pretty quick. And I will not stop playing chess until all my online time controls are over 2000 and my USCF is over 1800, which is very doable for anyone who is halfway intelligent. and young. I mean, there's variables, of course. More likely, I'll get a chance to do this full time or closer to full time, and see how strong an adult who never played as a kid can get.